I would like to show you a demonstration of how nothing is sacred to the Democrats and the media who would cover for them. Some of you know that my mother passed away, not this past Monday, but the Monday before, suddenly. And we buried her on Tuesday. My sister had an event today. She works for the Trump campaign. And when they issued a statement about it, there was a mistake in it. Okay, let me run through the mistake. My sister, she's the oldest among the 7 of us, just trying to hold it together. Some of my siblings wanted to keep working, to keep their mind busy. So on Saturday when she was at the funeral home, my mother's casket had just come in. She was getting details ready for her event, and they asked her who should be featured in the press release, and she gave them 2 names. And one of the names should have been Ellis Smith. And she said Charles Ellis. That's the mix-up. Now, we grew up in Pontiac. My mom is from the east side of Detroit. We know who these people are. It was an honest mistake. And if you're honest, you can just think about grieving woman, didn't catch it, made a mistake. Ellis Smith, Charles Ellis. Obviously an honest mistake. So when they sent out the press release, Charles Ellis was very upset. And he said he was very offended that anyone would associate him with anything with the Trump Vance ticket. So a mutual friend of theirs, she's a Democrat, but she's good people. She had posted, a text from Charles Ellis. And my sister commented under her Facebook post, this was my fault, and we're going to issue a correction. And so she let it be known that, I guess she reached out and explained it to Charles Ellis. And my sister, she was trying to get in contact with him so she could personally apologize. And the Trump campaign was actually very sweet about the mix-up and the mistake. And they were saying, like, you don't have to take the bullet on this. It's okay. They were amazed that the Free Press wanted to write a story about it at all. I'm not, because I've had to deal with press making dumb stories before, but they were just floored. They wanted to make a story about this, make it a bigger deal. But they didn't think that she needed to take the bullet. And she's like, no, I have to, because if I don't, they're going to try to say, oh, these white people think all black people are like blah, blah, blah. And they would spin it like that. So she's like, I'm going to take accountability. It was my mistake. So she put out a statement and she sent it to the Detroit Free Press, and they did not include it in the article, which if they did, the whole article would probably sound really silly. But they did mention that she had misspelled. It should have been probably more misspoke, but obviously a confusion with a name mix-up. It wasn't deliberately done. Sherry also posted it on her Facebook page, and there are people who still were like, no, this wasn't a mistake. But some people are like, no, some things are above politics. I couldn't even imagine working or trying to do anything if my mother passed away. So in the midst of them trying to issue correction and make things right, trying to get in contact with Charles Ellis, it was pretty evident that they wanted to still push this story out. And Charles Ellis said, it's one thing, if it's an honest mistake, but if they tried to mislead here, dude, no, obviously Charles Ellis, Ellis Smith, you can mix that up, especially while you're grieving your mother. And to say there's a lot of preachers, why list me? Because your name is Ellis, and she confused you with Ellis Smith, who is a very good man, by the way, and did come to my mother's funeral. But they quoted another Democrat, Jonathan Kinloch, who said, if you pick one Negro, you pick them all. Like, that's the kind of attitude from the Trump campaign. Again, this is a black woman who made the mistake, and it was an honest mistake. It wasn't done on purpose. There's no conspiracy of trying to mislead people. And she's aware of who both these people are, just mixed up the names. Again, in this grieving process, please have a little grace, please have a little mercy. And also she took accountability for that. But trying to spin it into some kind of, I don't know, attack Trump out of racism, blah, blah, blah. It's not on him. It was on her. But again, if the Free Press had posted her statement in the story, he would look extra stupid. So I wanted all of you to know of the sort of garbage that they posted. So some things are above politics. At the event today, one of the people from the press came up to my sister and gave their condolences. And she appreciated that. I appreciated that. We all have mothers, and again, she did die suddenly. It was very shocking and very hard for my family. And I think everyone who's left kind comments. And I just wanted the truth to be out there, and I wanted to defend my sister. And the media can do better. This is a really silly story to try to make something out of it, but the Detroit Free Press wanted their attention, and I guess the Democrats there wanted their attention. So here's some of that attention we ordered, and it was an honest mistake, and you guys know it was an honest mistake. And again, have some grace. And the last thing I want to note, because people always say things like, "Oh, those Republicans don't care about you." Even if they didn't, my policies are my policies. But so many people from the Republican Party reached out and helped and sent money, helped with the venues, cooked food, all kinds of different stuff. There was so much love. And by the way, different, senators and congresspeople sent letters of condolences, and so did the former president of the United States of America, Donald Trump. So I just wish, the Free Press could have had that much, consideration and grace for my family.